Shalom Aleichem, meine liebe Freund. Ich heiße Mottel Didner und das ist 15 Minuten Yiddish. Mehr weniger. Jede Woche bringen wir euch eine Mini-Lektie in Jiddisch Sprach und Kultur von dem Nationalen Jiddisch-Theater Volksbühne. Welcome back to 15-Minute Yiddish. If you missed any of our past episodes, nicht, don't worry, you can view them all online at nytf.org. Today, we're going to take a trip to the doctor. Oh, Shalom Aleichem. I'm not really a doctor, but I play one on 15-Minute Yiddish. My Bubba would have gefelled if I were a real doctor, but Yiddish theater was a close second career choice. You know what they say, abi gesund, as long as you have your health. Abi means as long as, and it's used the same way that it is in English. So cold. Please give me something warm to drink. Coffee, tea, cocoa, whatever. Abi haze. Before we begin our medical journey, let's briefly chazer iber a very big topic that came up in our last episode. Let's take another look at how articles change when the noun becomes the object of a preposition. A and an, our indefinite articles, stay the same. Der becomes dem. Das also becomes dem. Die, the feminine singular, becomes der. And die in the plural for all genders stays the same. I'm going to leave this table up on the screen as we do a little exercise. I'm giving you a destination as well as a way to get there. Please answer in a complete sentence. Wayne, wohin gehst du? Ich gehe auf dem Trottoir in dem Park. Sehr gut. Sophia, wohin fährst du? Ich fahr mit dem Auto zu dem Restaurant. Gut. Professor, wohin geht ihr? Ich gehe auf dem Kessel in der Schule. Sehr gut. Murray, wohin fährst du? Ich fahr mit der Bahn kein Chicago. Ausgezeichnet. Scott, wohin fährst du? Ich fahr mit dem Velociped in dem Park. Gut. And Hinde, wohin fährst du? Can I say aeroplan? I was an aeroplan traffic controller, you know. Yes, I remember. That's fine, we'll add it to the list. An airplane is a masculine noun. Der Aeroplan. A Dank. Ich fahr mit dem Aeroplan zu der Arbeit. Ausgezeichnet. I think we're ready to go to the doctor now. In Yiddish we say, ich gehe zu dem Doktor. But there is an abbreviation for zu dem. We can say zum. Ich gehe zum Doktor. There's also an abbreviation for in dem. We can say inem. Ich spazier in dem Park. If we are going to a female doctor, we would say, ich gehe zu der Doktorke. We began to learn about die Glieder, the parts of the body, back in season 1. If you wish to chazer iber, Kopf, Achseln, Knie und Fies, und also weiter, that means etc., please refer to season 1, episode 4. Let's take a look at more parts of the anatomy. Der Zahn is a tooth, die Zähne in the plural. A tongue is die Zung, plural, die Zinger. A neck is der Hals, plural, die Hälser. And a throat is der Gorgel, plural, die Gorgeln. Der Organ is an organ, die Organen in the plural. Der Moich is a brain, die Moiches in the plural. A heart is das Harz, die Herzer in the plural. A lung is die Lung, plural, die Lungen. And a liver is die Leber, plural, die Lebers. Your stomach is der Magen, plural, die Magens. Die Kishkes are your intestines, and we usually use the plural when referring to the part of the body, and the singular when referring to the food. Die Haut is your skin. Typically you only hear this in the singular, but the plural is die Häuten. A bone is der Bein, plural, die Beiner. And das Blut is blood. You don't ever hear this in the plural. There's a lot more parts of the body, but I think that's enough anatomy for now. Let's talk about some symptoms which might bring you to the doctor's office. Hitzhoben is to have a fever. This is a periphrastic verb, and remember that the conjugated part always goes in the second place in the sentence. Ich hab Hitz. We've already learned about weh for pain, es tut mir weh, or es tun mir weh. A wehtic is an ache, and this gets paired with the part of the body that's giving you trouble. A Kopfwehtic is a headache. Zahnwehtic is a toothache. Bauchwehtic is a stomach ache. There's a lot more symptoms which you may experience, but I think that's enough for now, and that brings us to verb time! Today we will look at two verbs, both of which are symptoms. The first is husten.
Houston, we have a problem.
This is a regular verb, but notice that there's an st or a samech tes before the final n or nun in the infinitive form. Watch what this does when we get to do. Let's take a look. Ich hust. Du hust. Notice they sound exactly the same, but we add an extra s or samech to the word. This is one of the few times in Yiddish that you get a double samech. Sie, es hust. Mir husten. Ihr hust. Sie husten. Alle zusammen. Ich hust. Du hust. Sie, es hust. Mir husten. Ihr hust. Sie husten. Sehr, sehr gut. Let's take a look at our next verb. Niesen, to sneeze. This is also a regular verb. Ich nies. Du niest. Sie, es niest. Mir niesen. Ihr niest. Sie niesen. Alle zusammen. Ich nies. Du niest. Sie, es niest. Mir niesen. Ihr niest. Sie niesen. Ausgezeichnet.
Oh, ich will etwas fragen.
Joska?
How do you say throw up?
Scott? It's okay. That's a medical symptom too. The verb is brechen, but it requires a little context to understand it properly, because brechen also means to break. If you use it with the reflexive, brechen sich, that means to twist or to contort, which could also be a medical condition. You'll also hear opbrechen or ausbrechen, to throw up, and these are verbs with separable prefixes. Ich brech op, ich brech aus, and in the interest of time, I'll leave it to you to conjugate the rest by yourself.
A dank. Nisto farvos. Now let's talk about disease. We already learned last season, ich feel sich krank. I feel sick. But you can also say krank sein. This is a periphrastic verb. Ich bin krank. Krankheit is sickness, disease, or illness.
That's a famous name.
Indeed it is. It is a Dutch family name meaning an invalid or a disabled person. And of course, it's the name of the famous
Booking agent at the Sunshine Casino in Reno, Shirley Cronkite. She once booked me to do stand-up in the room where people go when they lost all their money and they're just waiting for the bus to take them home. Oh, talk about a rough crowd. And she stiffed me $20.
Not the famous Cronkite I was thinking of. Anyway, let's talk more about diseases. If you have a cold, that is verkielt sein. Notice that the verb is sein and not haben. However, if you have the flu, that is die Flentia haben. Flentia is short for influenza. If you have a disease in one of your organs, you simply pair the name of the organ with Krankheit. Magenkrankheit, stomach disease. Hartskrankheit, heart disease. Das Brennenisch is heartburn. Zucker haben is diabetes, literally to have sugar. If you cannot see, then that is blind sein. And if you cannot hear, that is taub sein. A Herzattacke is a heart attack. And a Moechattacke is a stroke, literally a brain attack. What about cancer? Cancer is arak haben, and you do need to use the indefinite article a, even though you wouldn't in English. Und ob man is sehr krank, liegt man in Spital. We don't say the hospital, just like the British. We say to lie in hospital. Liegen is the verb to lie, and it is a regular verb. If you are seeking treatment for an emotional or a mental condition, such as more Schreure haben, to be depressed, then you would see der Psychiater or die Psychiaterke, a psychiatrist. Or you could go to der Psycholog or die Psychologke, a psychologist. And if you're seeking dental care, you can go to der Zahndoktor or die Zahndoktorke. Now, let's play doctor.
Well, if I knew it was going to be that kind of class.
Not like that, Murray. Oi, Doktorke Sophia, ich fühl sich nicht gut.
Oi, Nebbich, was ist der mehr, Darling?
Ich hust, und ich nies.
Du hast Hitz?
Nein.
Du bist verkühlt.
Oi, jetzt hab ich ja Hitz.
Oh, du hast die Flensie.
Sehr gut. Wayne, ich hab a Brennisch und ich brech aus. Oh, du hast a Magenkrankheit. Gut. Professor, ich hab more Schreure. Zu was für a Doktor geh ich?
Du gehst zu Psychiater oder a Psycholog.
Ausgezeichnet. Scott, oi, ich hab Zehnweitig. Zu was für a Doktor geh ich?
Du gehst zu a Zahndoktor.
Sehr gut. Hinde, ob man hat a Herzattacke, wohin geht man?
Oi, tu, me geht in Spital.
Sehr, sehr gut.
Hey, Mo.
Yo, Murray.
Well, this week's class is so heavy, I thought I could lighten things up a bit.
I don't know if today's a day for jokes.
Oh, come on. I wrote a little something. I'd like some of the classmates to read it.
All right, as long as everyone agrees.
Good. I just emailed the script to Scott and Professor Thompson. Scott, you be the doctor.
Okay.
Great. That'll be funny. A little pisher doctor like that Doogie guy on TV.
Who?
Never mind. And Professor, you read Der Kranke, the patient.
Very well.
All right. Go ahead, and everybody else is going to be the audience. Mr. Cronkite, ich hab da die Resultaten von dein Examen. Du hast Hits. Du bist halb blind und halb taub. Oh. Und halb taub. Das Herz läuft und die Kischkes kriecht. Du hast Zucker. Das Blut fällt Eisen. Die Beine seien schwach. Der Magen hat Löcher. Du hast 3 Herzattackes gehabt. Du hast Leberkrankheit, Lungenkrankheit und du bist ein bisschen verkühlt.
Oh, that's my line. Das ist alles?
Ja,
Nu? Shrug, shrug. Abi gesund.
Bravo! That's a good one.
I don't get it. He doesn't seem very healthy at all.
I'll explain it to you after class. Well, that's our time for today. Join us next week for Adjectivorama Part 2. Derweil, seid gesund alle.